Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio.
We are the best in the world at what we do.
Welcome back to WrestlingHeads Radio. It feels like I haven't done a show in a while, but we are back. Joining me now, I got Tom. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on? How you doing over there on the West Coast?
Man, before I answer that, I was going to let everybody know, if you guys were concerned, last week I ended up having a little dehydration last week, and it was hot as hell up in here. It's my first time in my whole life that I experienced dehydration. I just want to know that I'm okay, so I'm all good now, and I'm ready to go. Yeah. So,
good to hear it. Yeah, because dehydration can, mess you up bad. So, good to hear you're doing good. Keep drinking that water and that Gatorade. Yeah, people. Yeah, just to let you guys know, drink your water and Gatorade. I mean, drink plenty of it. I mean, I thought that, okay, I could drink 3 a day. I'm okay. No, fuck that shit. If you live in an area that's really hot, like 80-plus degree up, I advise you to drink water. Water, Gatorade, everything. But anyways, last night was Monday Night Raw, which didn't have no Brock Lesnar or John Cena. But anyways, we all know they're going to have the main event in Summerslam anyways. Pretty much Raw started off with the Authority coming all together, which is Triple H, Stephanie, Kane, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins. Pretty much what they do all the time, running their mouth. And Roman Reigns came out and interfered and basically just mentioned about how Randy Orton attacked him last week. And he says that, well, I think I got all from the Viper because I'm still standing. So then, another brawl was going to happen between the two, but then instead of Triple H made a match between Roman Reigns and Kane, the last man standing match. And before that, he also announced some other matches, like a beat the clock match. This is going to be related to the Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins match at SummerSlam. Whoever beats the clock will pick the stipulation. And Triple H announced that it's going to be Dean Ambrose against Alberto Del Rio and Seth Rollins against RVD, which we'll get to that later. And basically the opening match was the last man standing match between Kane and Roman Reigns, which I actually was afraid that Kane was going to beat Roman Reigns because he put him through a table from a chokeslam. Roman Reigns really got up at 9. I was like, holy shit. And Roman Reigns ended up winning the match for spearing his ass. So what you think of that last man standing match last night? It was all right. Even though it was a last man standing match, it was still another Roman Reigns-Kane match. It was the same thing that they done except a couple of different spots. I figured Roman Reigns was going to win this. I thought there was no way Kane was going to get the victory unless, Triple H or, Randy Orton came out, which didn't happen. Roman Reigns, kind of did it on his own. And it was an okay way to open the show.
Yeah, and it was a good way to open the show. I was kind of sick and tired of seeing last man standing matches in pay-per-views because it seems like
it kind of getting there often. Now it's cool to have it on a Raw for once, but I don't know. I was getting sick and tired of having them pay-per-views because it seems like there's one every once in a blue moon pay-per, like once every 5 months. There's a last standing match in excuse me, in a pay-per-view, in a WWE pay-per-view. But yeah, that was the opening match. I'm trying to think of other matches that happened. I think we should go with the beat the clock match then, because Dean Ambrose went out against Alberto Del Rio. In my mind, I think it was the match of the night. And then it was a pretty good match. It went to 15 minutes. Dean Ambrose actually beat Alberto Del Rio in this match. So that means Seth Rollins has to win his match to not only win this match, but he has to win under that 15-minute mark. I think it was 15 minutes and 43 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. But if Seth Rollins beats RVD and just underneath that time frame, then Seth Rollins could pick the stipulation for their match at SummerSlam. But before we talk about Seth Rollins and RVD, Tom, what's your thoughts of that Dean Ambrose and Del Rio match?
It was good. I thought, it went a little bit too long, almost 16 minutes. And it wasn't like a, high-paced match, so there were points where it was kind of like dragging on, and it was a little bit difficult to kind of just keep up. But, they picked the pace up toward the end, and, Dean Ambrose getting the victory with the dirty deed, but with his uninjured arm. It was a good, solid match, and, I actually thought it was going to be much shorter. I expected this to be like a 6-7 minute match. I thought Ambrose, was going to get beat up for a little bit and then make his comeback and then go crazy and then pick up the victory. So I didn't expect it to go 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it to be that long too. And it's funny that well, I was about to say, I think I already said after the Seth Rollins match, but yeah, surprisingly it lasted 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. But I don't know if you agree, but I said this match was the best of the match. Match of the night from Raw last night. I think it topped all those other matches that were on Raw. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Well, yeah, I thought it was the match of the night. There wasn't a whole lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
We had, of course, after this match, we had Damian Sandow come out as the Boomer Sooner, which they were in Houston, Texas, for Raw last night. And for anyone that knows college football, Oklahoma and Texas, the Red River rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in college football and even sports here in the United States. And so he came out as that, and then Mark Henry came out because he went to the University of Texas, and he's from Texas. So once again, a little squash match, not a lot of wrestling. There wasn't a whole lot of wrestling on the show,
Yeah,
I don't know if you thought that, and it feels like each week, kind of going off topic for a quick second, it feels like each week Raw is getting a little bit harder to watch. I don't know if you can agree with that, but this was a show that it was pretty hard to watch it because, sometimes, I'll look forward to something, they'll announce a match and I'll be like, okay, I can expect that and I can expect this. But other than that, after the whole Dean Ambrose, Del Rio match, we also had Rusev, squashing Sin Cara. And then, once again, you had the whole stare down with, Jack Swagger. And they announced their match for SummerSlam, which was the, I believe, flag on a pole match.
Yeah, like a flag match. I think it's like there's going to be 2 flags in the pole, and whoever gets the flag, like the flag where the representative wins the match. I think that's how the rules are. So I think it's a flag match. Yeah.
So that whole segment was cool. Of course, yesterday was President Barack Obama's birthday. So Lana sung "Happy Birthday" in Russian. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. That was funny. What was I say? Oh, you know what's funny when you mentioned about that Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas Longhorns, but Mark Henry came back. We forgot to mention that Vince Young actually appeared on the show. He was the former quarterback of the Texas Longhorns who won their last national championship from beating my USC Trojans, fucking assholes. But yeah, he was there in the crowd. So too bad he's not in the NFL no more. But anyways, I'm gonna get towards the Seth Rollins match, which they end up changing the match. It was supposed to be RVD and Seth Rollins, but then Justin Roberts said that the Authority changed the match, that it's no longer going to be RVD versus Seth Rollins. It's going to be Seth Rollins against Heath Slater. So RVD went to the back, and then they brought in Heath Slater instead. And what happened during that Seth Rollins and Heath Slater match, Dean Ambrose came out, and he was pretty much checking out his briefcase. He opened it up. He spilled soda on there. He was eating popcorn on the freaking briefcase. He was pretty much distracting Seth Rollins the whole time. And then he grabbed JR's hat. Not JR, I mean JBL's hat. Yeah, JBL. He grabbed his hat, and so he started putting his hat inside the briefcase, and then all that distraction led to Heath Slater upsetting Seth Rollins. And now that he lost to Heath Slater, that means Dean Ambrose could pick the stipulation for their match at SummerSlam, and it also just been announced that he's going to announce it on SmackDown this coming Friday, or we may find out in a few minutes, because I know they're doing the taping. So, yeah. So what you think? Let me ask you a question, Tom. What's your guess? What kind of match is going to be, or stipulation is going to be between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins match for SummerSlam?
Well, first of all, it was awesome to see Heath Slater get a victory over Seth Rollins. That was hilarious. Heath Slater, he's, you think about that he doesn't get, a whole lot of TV time on Raw and stuff, but, he's kind of in a good position because, he's kind of like a good jobber, and he's not really a jobber. He's, kind of a lower card to mid-card guy that makes, the main event and upper card guys look good. And then look at this, he pulled out an upset victory. And, who knows, maybe this starts like a whole thing where Heath Slater goes on a winning streak. I don't know. But it was cool. I'm predicting Dean Ambrose to either do a street fight or maybe a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah, definitely. SmartCast, I got your tweet. If you want, because according to SmartCast, he knows already the match, but I guess tweet it to me, and I will give out a spoiler alert. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't want to know, cover your ears, turn down the volume just for a couple seconds. Yeah,
well, right now, first, SmartCat's got to tweet it to me. What's his, because he knows her. I guess he might have read the SmackDown spoilers. So we will get to that in a bit, what the stipulation is, as soon as SmartCast tweeted me. Yeah. But anyways, what I was going to say, first I was thinking, what kind of match could they possibly put? Maybe a cage match, I was thinking. Because they're putting all these crazy stipulations, like, okay, you got a flag match. Maybe AJ and Paige will have something. Who knows? But, yeah. Yeah. So we'll get to we might get back to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in a little bit, as soon as Marquez tweeted the match. Anyways, let's get back to Raw for a sec. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, we also had Dolph Ziggler taking on Cesaro, keeping on Dolph Ziggler's winning streak, because most likely he was going to face The Miz at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. This is, I don't know what they're doing with Cesaro right now. You know, I understand, you know, they're trying to, you know, put some tough opponents for Ziggler, but, I mean, if Dolph Ziggler can beat Cesaro, how can he not beat The Miz? I wouldn't understand that logic.
I don't know that. Miz is going to be, he's going to defend the title against Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam, and the whole star thing, I don't understand. Like I said to Skits last week, maybe it'll link to a face turn down the road.
Possibly. I just, you know, I don't know what they're doing with him. At the moment, it's discouraging because, you know, SummerSlam's, you know, a big pay-per-view, and, you know, it looks like Cesaro's not even going to be on the pay-per-view card. You know, I don't know. It's just, sometimes I scratch my head, you know, with what WWE does with, you know, Cesaro went from winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, you know, and he was on such a tear. You know, he became a Paul Heyman guy, and everybody's loving it. Everybody's hyped up on Cesaro, and then they just kill his momentum completely. So I don't know what they're planning on doing with him for the next couple months, but hopefully they do something with him.
I'm thinking it's going to be a face turn. It's going to be a face turn. I don't think they gave up on Cesaro. I really don't think so. He's not going to be Fandale or Fandango. He ain't going to do that. I'm telling you right now. This is going to lead to a face, but always in the face turn. So, what was I going to say? People have been distracting me, and how sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be linked to a face turn. It has to link to a face turn. So, yeah.
Also, we forgot to mention something that happened in the beginning promo at the show by the Authority. You can get the WWE Network for just $9.99 a month. And that was repeated, I would say, at least close to 50 times on this show.
Yes.
How many times were they plugging that network?
$9.99. And it
was getting so repetitive that Triple H wasn't even finishing his sentences. He was letting the crowd finish the $9.99 for him.
Yeah. They really want those 1 million subscribers on their network that bad.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't think they need the 1 million. That's just what they thought they were going to need to break even. Now, apparently, because of all the budget cuts they made, all they need is $500,000 by the end of the year just to break even. So I think they're wanting to get 1 million by the end of the year just to, you know, get some extra extra revenue in their pockets because they've lost, a lot of money because of this network, because of the old saying, you have to spend money to make money, so.
Yeah. And you know what?
Here's an idea, and you can agree or disagree with me, and you listeners can agree or disagree with me. You can tweet us at WrestlingHeads or call up and agree or disagree with me. Maybe instead of plugging the networks every single second on Raw and on pay-per-views, maybe they could do something and put, like, the JBL and Cole show on the network, or maybe they could put some good stuff on the network to hype it up, because there's not a lot of stuff on the network that makes me interested in it. The reason I watch the network is for pay-per-views and for NXT, and once in a while I'll catch like an old school WCW or ECW pay-per-view, and that's it, and that's once in a while. But other than that, what are they doing to make you want to buy the network? Are they making the pay-per-view cards? Are they making the pay-per-view cards, exciting enough to buy the pay-per-view? Maybe SummerSlam, because they have to hype it up, because it's, probably their second or third biggest pay-per-view of the year. But other than that, maybe if they put out a better product, maybe I would be more inclined to, buy the network if I hadn't bought it already.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm going to say about your comment about the network. To me, I do watch a lot of shows, to be honest with you. I do watch WrestleMania Rewind. I do watch Countdown. And I don't watch the reruns of Total Divas. I don't do that. I was watching that at one point. and if they make this new Tough Enough thing, which is rumored to be coming out, I don't know if I'll be interested in watching it, because those other seasons were terrible, especially last one was terrible. But it depends how
see, that's the thing. And it's like, what is Tough Enough now? Tough Enough, the whole concept was that a regular average person could become a wrestler. Okay, let's see how that worked out. The only guys I can think of that did well in the WWE because of Tough Enough was John Morrison, The Miz, Josh Matthews, in a different sense. He wasn't a wrestler, but he spent, 11 years in the company as an interviewer and announcer. Who else? Can you think of anybody else?
Kenny King was on there, if you remember that.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, Kenny King was in season 2 episode of Tough Enough. John Morrison.
I couldn't even remember that, because obviously WWE didn't care. And the last season they had of Tough Enough, M-Dog 20 was on there, and of course, he's a wrestler, so they kicked him out early. I think he was like the second person eliminated, and instead they went with this big guy, I can't even remember his name, that won the competition, and I don't even think he had a match on Raw.
No, he hasn't. He was only on FCW. His name is Andy. Andy, I forgot his last name, but I remember it was Andy, though.
Big Andy.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? They were going to give him a cowboy gimmick, and it didn't work out. They didn't even freaking to the main roster. And there you go.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I don't know.
In all honesty, maybe Tough Enough would be interesting, to see how the trainers would, train them, because we don't, get to see that. And maybe we would get to see, some of the performance center that, we normally don't get to see. And we get to see some NXT stars on that show. But other than that, I wouldn't want any of those guys, coming up, because I look at NXT and there's, a whole bunch of talent down there that I can't wait to see, either debut or that's down there, and I can't wait till they get to the main roster.
Yeah. And back to Tough Enough for a segment, I don't know if you noticed, but that cast they brought in, it was not, WWE didn't choose that cast, you know. This Tough Enough thing was a disaster from the beginning. Like, I think it was USA that chose the cast. It's on guys like Austin Aries, and there's another name, I try to remember who, but Austin Aries was trying not to be on Tough Enough. So, yeah, that really,
Austin Aries didn't have to try out to be on Tough Enough. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think there was another name too. I think it was a female wrestler. I can't not get that person in my head, but they passed on them, like real wrestlers, and just brought in average people who had no wrestling experience at all. Well, so one guy did, but that's what happened. And you know, like what kind of season we had, and look who's in the roster right now. Someone was eliminated in the first elimination of Tough Enough. But anyways, let's go back to Raw for a sec. And the network's going internationally, and I want to see how interesting how the network does when it goes internationally, like how much money they'll make internationally, you know. So that'll be very interesting, and I'm gonna go back to that a little later on about Raw going internationally. I mean the network going internationally, but I'm gonna go back to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Trying to see something else. Fandango losing again for one of the Los Matamoros guys. Oh, but it was funny oh God.
Before you even get to this, oh my God, this was just another thing that made me hate watching Raw because it was so just boring, and it's just like, what is the point of this? Oh my God, Fandango coming out with freaking Hornswoggle, and then Hornswoggle gets in the way, and Fandango loses to, I think it was Diego, and Hornswoggle starts dancing with Summer Rae, Layla, and Diego, and El Torito. It's just like, what the hell?
I don't get this whole Fandango. I mean, I know he had a pass with Fandango, Summer Rae, and Layla, but where is this going to? I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it either. Every week,
I just want to skip ahead of it.
Yeah. And Hornswoggle to promote.
It.
Oh yeah, and for Hornswoggle to promote that Leprechaun movie, I think that's not a good way to promote that movie. That's wrong with Fandango.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they were showing this little video package of this Brock Lesnar John Cena thing, which I kind of like it because it almost has this UFC type feel into it. You know how the build up to the fight. So this is basically what it was: is a build up to match to Summerslam between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. They did this because both of them were not scheduled to be on Raw. Because you got John Cena doing his movies, and Brock Lesnar contract cannot show up in every Raw. So they just pretty much build that video. I mean, they made that video to hopefully build something to their match at SummerSlam. So, which I'm going to witness in a few weeks. I will be there in the Staples Center. Just a 20 to 30 minute drive from my house, and I am gonna try and enjoy SummerSlam. What else happened on Raw? Finally, fucking Stardust and Goldust had a match instead of every week with those stupid little videos they've been having. The cosmic key they can't find or whatever. So we finally had a match against Ryback, and you got the Stardust and Goldust winning that match. But it's kind of odd. I think finally Stardust had a little pop. I don't know if you realized it. I don't know if you even paying attention, but Stardust had a little pop. You know?
Yeah.
Do you realize that or no?
It seemed like he got a good reaction when he came out. You know, maybe doing all of those video packages and stuff made people more anticipated to see Stardust come out. I don't know how it's going to be next week and from here on out. But, you know, maybe people are digging the Stardust thing.
Yeah, definitely. And
you know, maybe now, you know, Stardust has a victory over Rybaxel. But Rybaxel also has a victory over the Usos. So maybe we're going to see a triple threat tag team match at SummerSlam.
You know what?
I don't know if the Wyatt family is going to be involved or not.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that the match at SummerSlam, which I think is going to happen, it was not even mentioned on Raw, but the Usos were not on Raw, and so is this new Nation of Domination group. I'm thinking those are the guys going to go after the Usos at SummerSlam. Because yes, I do watch Main Event and SmackDown, and it seems like they're around them a lot. You know, like they're like, you got Xavier Woods doing commentary and during an Uso match, and you have Kofi and Big E just standing right there watching that match, or Usos match, I should say. And yeah, it just seems like it's going to be those guys going after the Usos instead of Rybaxel or four-way tag match or whatever. You know, it seems like that's what's going to happen. And you know what? I even watched Main Event today, and they didn't even mention the Usos or the new Nation, the Domination group, whatever they're called. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's going to that's they're not pretty much pushing the tag team title scene that much. So that basically is going to be a pre-show match, the Usos against Kofi and Big E.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of the Wyatt family, Luke Harper was in one-on-one action against Chris Jericho, and if Chris Jericho won, then that means Luke Harper was banned from ringside against in Bray Wyatt's match against Chris Jericho at SummerSlam, because on SmackDown the Friday before, Chris Jericho beat Eric Rowan, which means Eric Rowan was banned from ringside. And Luke Harper ended up losing by disqualification after Bray Wyatt came out. So Bray Wyatt wants a regular one-on-one match. He cut a promo later in the night saying he doesn't need his boys out there. He doesn't need his brothers out there because he's going to do it on his own. And, you know, then he's saying he's got the whole world in his hands. So it's going to be straight one-on-one match, Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho, no interference from the Wyatt family. Yes,
and that's a match I'm looking forward to. I'm glad I'm going to see it live at SummerSlam when I'm over there. And it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, I remember, wasn't it an NXT? I think that NXT match, they went one-on-one, and Jericho ended up beating Bray Wyatt in that one NXT match. And it was not that bad. I'm expecting to be something like that again. So hopefully that match turns out better than the one they had at the pay-per-view they had recently, Battleground. So it's just going to be SummerSlam, and it's just the second biggest pay-per-view. Hopefully they know this. They got to do better than the last pay-per-view. So there you go. Jericho and Wyatt. Can't wait for that.
We also had the most inspirational wrestler in wrestling today in the WWE, Bo Dallas. He's getting back on the winning streak after losing last week on Raw in a fluke victory against R-Truth and losing on SmackDown against R-Truth. Bo Dallas came out, got the victory, and then, of course, after the match, R-Truth is a sore loser and attacked Bo Dallas, but Bo Dallas gave him the Bodog off the steel steps onto the floor. That's what you get for messing with Bo. Hopefully, though, this doesn't lead to like a Bo Dallas R-Truth match at SummerSlam. You know, maybe that'll be the pre-show match, but it's something I really wouldn't care about. They need to just kind of move on with this. They need to find something new for Bo.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. That could be a pre-show match. To me, this is what I think. I think he's not going to wrestle, but I see he will appear and talk about, like, I don't know. He might say something about the Lakers. You guys had a bad season, but it's okay, or something like that. Because Staples Center is the house of the Lakers, so he might say something about them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe I'll talk about the Lakers and the Clippers.
Well, the Clippers are a good team. I mean, even though they haven't won a championship, you could mention that it's okay, but you guys will get your first championship soon or some shit. I don't know, but anyways, or he could mention just like the LA Kings did.
Yeah. Also, before we get to what happened at the end of the show, kind of a side thing happened. Kane was in the back with Triple H and Stephanie, and he took off his mask and gave it to them, and so now Kane is unmasked once again. Who knows if he's done or what?
What is this? What do you think this is leading to? Because I know this is Kane's gonna get written off because I think he's gonna be doing some work for that See No Evil 2 thing going on. I mean, I guess they were trying to rid him off a couple of times because of the whole Daniel Bryan neck injury thing. Because the original plan was to have a Bury Alive match, and that was supposed to rid off Kane, but Daniel Bryan was injured. So I don't know what this is going to lead to. I know Kane's going to be gone for maybe some time being, and he didn't even have a match at SummerSlam. So I don't know. It's very interesting what it's going to lead to, and I saw some tweets yesterday that hopefully people are hoping that he's going to retire.
People say that, but Kane's a legend. Kane is
he is a legend.
He's not just a legend, for what he did in the ring and stuff, but people know him as, the veteran that helped so many young guys in, countless matches. And, Kane is one of the most selfless people I've heard in the WWE. He never wants to win for himself. He always wants to put everybody else over. He wants to do whatever's necessary. He doesn't care. He doesn't go in business for himself. And, I've seen videos of Kane, talk kind of out of character. And, Kane's one of the most intelligent guys I've seen in WWE. He's very articulate. He knows how to speak. He's got a very career career outside of WWE. I believe he's involved in real estate, or something along those lines.
I think he's also into politics as well. Yeah,
some politics, real estate, something with the suit. Kane's a fancy guy. Kane's fancy. He's going to be rocking the suit. Hopefully we'll see him chokeslam Obama through the president's desk, and then Kane becomes our president.
Oh, shit, Kane is our president. Ain't that something?
I would love that.
America will be in hell, I'll tell you that.
No, but then every other country, nobody would, mess with us or anything, because he would come into the room with the fire and stuff. He'd get the glove out, and he'd be like, "You're going to sign this peace treaty, and if you don't, I'm going to tombstone you."
All right. While we're still talking about WWE, for our listeners, I found out was the stipulation of Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins match. If you guys don't want to know, well, this is going to be a spoiler alert, so put the volume down, put us on mute. Give us 2 minutes because I'm going to give Tom I'm gonna ask Tom his thoughts of this match. So if I were you better do it right now. Put us on mute right now. Give us just 2 minutes. Just do it right now. All right. It's a spoiler right here. On the SmackDown tapings earlier tonight, Dean Ambrose named the stipulation, and it's going to be a lumberjack match. So it's going to be Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam in a lumberjack match. What you think, Tom? Yep, what you think?
I don't. Why? Why would he choose a lumberjack match? That makes, I mean, maybe it makes some sort of sense that he's going to have people surrounding the ring and they're going to try to help him. But then there's going to be people who are against Dean Ambrose. And that just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he wouldn't go, I don't know why they wouldn't go with a street fight or a Falls Count Anywhere match or a cage match or, I don't know.
Yep. The match, I mean, I've seen a lumberjack match before in person, but I don't know. But it's kind of a little strange to me in a way. It's a match I didn't expect to happen. I don't know. I just thought it would be like Falls Count Anywhere match or something like that, but it just ended up being a lumberjack match, which we might see the Great Khali there and Zack Ryder there. But anyways, let's go back to Raw. Spoiler alert has ended. So yeah. Oh, next week they announced that it's going to be Hulk Hogan's birthday. Hogan's going to be on Raw next week, and he will. Yeah, and you know what? There's already teaser tweets you can say from Scott Hall that an NWO reunion might happen next week. I mean, I'm up for that if Scott Hall and Kevin Nash appears next week. Or actually, all three of them appear with the NWO colors just for one night. I'm down for that. I'm gonna wear my NWO shirt just in case. I don't know about you, Tom, but I'll be looking forward for an NWO reunion.
That'd be cool. If they do anything else with Hulk Hogan's birthday, it'll be kind of boring or kind of whatever. But if they do something with NWO, I'll be interested.
Hell yeah! I mean, he fucking
and think
come
about
out.
This is a way, if you're a smart writer or booker or whatever, you do this. You have the NWO show up, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, crowds going crazy, because even, everybody knows who the NWO is, not just, the adults who grew up during the Attitude Era or were teenagers during the Attitude Era, but now kids today, they know about the NWO, because of the network, because of all the other things, the internet, YouTube. They know who the NWO is. But anyway, you have them come out, they're cutting a promo or whatever, and then you bring out, the new Nation of Domination.
Oh, fuck.
And you have Xavier Woods start talking about, how these old guys need to leave and how it's, it's their time or whatever. And, just something like that. That is how you start building up a new faction. You take this new group and you put it against one of the biggest factions in wrestling history. Obviously they're not going to have a match, but still even a promo would help elevate them.
That's not a bad idea, but I don't think it's going to happen. But something tells me something stupid's going to happen, like they come out, someone's going to interfere or interrupt somehow, and I'm thinking he's going to end up being Damien Sandow. He's going to dress up as, I don't know, Scott Steiner or the fake Sting. Who knows? He comes out, or even X-Pac, whatever. He's going to dress up wearing NWO colors, and he's going to say something to tick off Nash and fucking Hall, and then all three are going to jump him, get the spray can out, spray NWO in his back. I can see something like that happening next week. But yeah, and you won't see Hogan do the leg drop. I'll tell you that. I can see a jackknife happening, but I don't see a leg drop happening.
No, I would not want to see a leg drop happen because I would be afraid that Hogan would break a hip or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't gonna happen. I don't even know if fucking Scott Hall can even do the fucking Razor Edge today.
Yeah.
But
he's in better shape, but you never know with Scott Hall because DDP Yoga can only do so much.
Yeah, definitely. But anyways, you know what? Hold on. If WWE's smart, if this NWO thing goes crazy with the reaction of the people, they gotta start thinking about putting him in the Hall of Fame. Seriously, the faction, the NWO, they gotta do it. I mean,
I don't see why not. I mean, Hulk Hogan's in the Hall of Fame. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall's WWE personalities in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair went into the Hall of Fame twice. I think that could be an exception. Possibly. It's just, how many times are you going to induct people twice? Because, Shawn Michaels is in the Hall of Fame, but are you going to induct DX into the Hall of Fame? Or are you going to induct, just the New Age Outlaws, and then I don't think X-Pac's a Hall of Famer, but...
Yeah. You know what? I think in this show a couple times, me and Skits, we argue about who goes to the fucking, or you could say in the show or outside the show, me and Skits always argue who's going to go in or not. I mean, I said in the show in the past, DX will get in for the NWO, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Because I just feel like, why would Vince put a group in the Hall of Fame, a group that almost went him out of business, The NWO was basically killing the WWE if you really think about it back in the 90s. Everybody was all into the NWO. It's like wearing an NWO shirt back in those days. It's like you're fucking automatically cool. They even said in the DVD it was freaking cool, and it was a big time in the business. So, and they thought maybe they make NWO it'd be great.
It's so iconic, Whether people,
yeah, it's so iconic today.
I know the WWE likes to, bury WCW at every chance they get, but
yeah,
they're not stupid.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully this NWO reunion happens next week. If not, then we will fucking... I probably will go crazy. I'll probably shoot this shit next Monday if that doesn't happen. But anyways.
Finishing off Raw, Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon contract signing, and we had Nikki Bella accompanying Brie and the COO, The Game, Triple H, accompanying his wife, Stephanie. And, they're going back and forth, talking trash, blah, 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 calling each other bitch, I don't know how many times, that they're both going to beat each other. Basically what they've said to each other for the past couple weeks was really nothing new. But then a brawl started, and Triple H actually pushed the desk that Brie was sitting in up into the corner where the ring post is and trapped her while Stephanie gave Nikki Bella a pedigree, and then Stephanie slapped Triple H, and then Stephanie attempted to go after Stephanie, but ended up eating a pedigree from Stephanie also. I thought it was a good way to end the show. I thought it was, they're building this matchup to be, a big deal. Obviously, we're not expecting, a 5-star Divas match. We're not expecting, a versus Trish match. And we're not expecting an AJ versus Paige type match. but it should be a fun special attraction. And seeing those pedigrees, that was hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. And I noticed you botched there for a second. For our listeners, they got confused. He probably meant by saying that Bree would slap Triple H, not Stephanie slapping Triple H. But
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but anyways, cool. That's how it ended. 2 weeks in a row. It ended with Stephanie and Bree. They pretty much had no choice to end it with them too, because you don't have Brock Lesnar and John Cena on the same show. You can't really do that. So you can't really end with them. But without them, you gotta do something else. And I guess they decided to have Brie and Stephanie. It wouldn't surprise you next week that opened up Raw with something that has to do with that story. Open up Raw next week. It wouldn't surprise me, because I'm pretty sure, hopefully, both Brock Lesnar and John Cena appears on Raw next week.
But I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fun way to end it. And Stephanie, I thought she was going to do worse pedigrees than that, but she did some pretty solid pedigrees,
Yeah, definitely, and especially someone who hasn't been in the ring or competing in the ring for nearly a decade, or maybe even in a decade. So
it's been more than a decade.
Yeah, so see what happens. To see how she does in the ring in SummerSlam. Before we start ending pretty much WWE talk, I just want to go through the SummerSlam card, the updated card so far right now. You got Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, and whatever I spoiled alert earlier today match. Stephanie against Brie Bella. You got Chris Jericho against Bray Wyatt. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are banned from ringside. You got a flag match, Rusev and Jack Swagger. For the Intercontinental title, you got Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. For the Divas title, you got Paige against AJ Lee. And for the WWE World Heavyweight title match, you got going against John Cena. That's 7 matches right there. Actually, 8. That's 8 matches already right there. And there is no pre-match yet announced, but who knows? Probably we'll see that match we both were talking about, either the Bo Dallas match or that match I said, the Nation against the Usos. That could be the pre-show match. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And also, I just wanted to mention on Raw last night, they also announced that Sting will join the WWE 2K15 panel, or you could say SummerSlam panel, the day before SummerSlam here in Los Angeles, to either the Club Nokia website to purchase tickets if you want to go to that panel, or go to WWE.com. Maybe they'll show you info how to go to this panel. This panel they're happening here in LA. I think there's 4 set of panels they're having. Friday night, Hulk Hogan's having one, and Saturday I think they're having 3 with one with the WWE 2K15. They're gonna announce the whole entire roster who's gonna be in the video game, and they have a DX one in the evening, and I think in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, our time, I think John Cena is having one. And then on Sunday, right before SummerSlam kicks off, Stone Cold Steve Austin's having one. To me, Tom, because living here, I look at the prices, $100 and some bucks. You can sit near to with the superstars. If you want to ask questions of them, you can ask them. That's $100. I think it's $100 for that seat, and for the up in the balcony, $50. I don't know, but to me that sounds like a rip off, and I don't know if I'm interested to go to any of these panels, but I don't know. I didn't see like it's a money.
Well, people are going to pay. People are going to pay that much money to be able to, it's not even, even if you don't get to ask any questions, you get to hear, people ask questions and you get to hear some interesting response, kind of like the whole Comic-Con thing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Plus,
and
you guys, I can understand Los Angeles being a little mad that they're not doing Access, but you gotta understand there was no SummerSlam Access before.
Yeah, no.
It was only WrestleMania that ever did Access, and they started doing Access for WrestleMania. I believe WrestleMania 2000 was the first one that they did. They might have done it before then, but I believe that's the first time I can remember them actually promoting Access. But anyway, so you know what? You guys get to go and you guys get to see and ask Sting questions. So you know what? I don't want to hear any bitching from you guys.
Yeah. And for me, why would I want to waste $100 and a good chance my question of whatever I want to ask Sting might not go through, because you never know. There's going to be a lot of people there. So I don't know why I want to risk that. I don't want to waste $100.
There's probably going to be some stupid questions.
Yeah, when are you going to wrestle in WWE?
Yeah.
Or do you have
how much do you hate TNA?
How much do I hate TNA? It's funny.
I bet you TNA gets mentioned. Is Kurt Angle coming to the WWE?
I won't be surprised in video games. But it's funny that about 2 months ago I was at the House of Hardcore convention show when they had the Q&A with the legends. I remember I want to ask questions. So there's a guy there on the mic, holding the mic. He was like, "Hey, do me a favor. If you can ask Eric Bishop a question, you cannot ask him anything about TNA." I was like, okay. I want to ask him a WWE question anyways. But yeah, but it could be a dude there saying, "Hey, don't mention TNA. Do not mention TNA." So.
Well, who would even want to talk about TNA?
Yeah, but, especially with where the company is right now and everything. Who wants to talk about TNA? But anyway,
they're doing good. They've been doing good with their New York City tapings, and they're actually they're doing more tapings. They did some more tapings tonight. They're going to do some more tomorrow night, and then finishing off Thursday night. So, should be some more good shows coming.
Yeah, definitely. Before I go to commercial break, I want to ask you, Tom. I should have asked you in the opening show what you think of Raw last night.
Oh, it was pretty boring, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, to me,
also, we didn't mention, because you probably forgot about it and I forgot about it, that stupid segment with Adam Rose looking in the mirror. And
I didn't even want to talk about it.
If he looked in the mirror long enough, he became a lemon, and he was looking into it, and then he, had a suit on, and instead of a lollipop, he had a pen. It was just so stupid, and like I said a little bit earlier in the show, Raw is just becoming so hard to watch, 3 hours, and, I don't know how much time there is on just advertisements, and then we have, stupid segments like that. We get stupid things like, the Damien Sandow thing last night I didn't like. The whole Damien Sandow character that they've been doing is kind of hit and miss. Like, some weeks it's good, like when Damien Sandow was doing Vince McMahon. That was funny. And, but some other weeks it's not funny. It's just Raw is getting harder to watch for me personally. And last night was pretty evident of that because I was pretty bored throughout most of the show. I would say the Rollins and Heath Slater match with Heath Slater winning was a high point. Maybe Jericho and Luke Harper, just because, Luke Harper is one of the best in-ring workers in the WWE, so it's always good to see him. But other than that, this was just a pretty boring, bland show.
Yeah, it was not a great Raw at all. I mean, yeah, hopefully next week it'll be okay. But next week it might be better because I'm expecting John Cena and to appear on Raw next week. But anyway,
I didn't miss John Cena though. I'll tell you that I didn't miss.
A lot of people didn't miss John Cena, and also one more thing I mentioned. I did watch the main event today, and Jack Swagger did beat Del Rio, but Heath Slater did won again with his tag team partner. What's his name? Titus O'Neil. So Slater Gator is on a roll now.
Slater Gator for tag team champions, baby.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to talk about a couple things that was going on the weekend in the world of professional wrestling. Maybe we'll talk about some Young Bucks, probably. We'll be right back. Okay, something's wrong with our...
Are we having technical difficulties?
Yeah, we are having technical difficulties with our commercial break.
While we're having technical difficulties, I like to remind you guys that you guys can buy the WWE Network for only $9.99 a month. That is $10 that you get to see pay-per-views, Total Divas, Main Event, NXT, the future of WWE. You get to see Legends House. Every pay-per-view from WWE and WCW and ECW, uncensored, $9.99 a month. Get it. I should be paid.
You know what? That sounds like a commercial. We should do that later on because there's something's wrong with our shit here. So, something's wrong with our shit. Skits, you probably listened to the later show, but fix this shit, motherfucker.
Whoa,
okay,
Ryan,
that's our commercial break.
This is a PG show, remember.
Whatever. That was our commercial break. Tom's promoting the WWE Network. All right, we're back in wrestling.
I should be paid for this. I should be compensated. I'm going to call up WWE corporate tomorrow and demand, a couple $100 just for that one plug.
They'll pay you $200. That's it. Anywho.
Anyway, if you guys feel like joining in on the conversation, you could always tweet at us at WrestlingHeads. Share us your opinion about Raw, SummerSlam, whatever. Or you can call up. Phone number 760-454-1107. Call up. Talk about anything. We'll have a good time talking, because we always do here on WrestlingHeads Radio.
Yeah, please, anybody, call in. Doesn't matter. SmartCast, you want to call in, go for it. You can talk to us. But before I talk about anything independent way, I forgot to mention about the network going internationally. It could get huge because, NXT, they just did some tapings last Thursday and go internationally with this network. Why not? I mean, why not have Kenta and Prince Devitt debut either on the new live show, Takeover 2, which has been reported on September 11th, or the tapings after that? Because will it be nice if the WWE use them so they get subscribers to the network?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I believe that it's going to go up regardless of what they do with, with Kenta or Prince Devitt, because, of course, I believe, when are they going international? When's the official date? Do you have
it again? When is it? August 12th, I believe, that's internationally, but they're not going to go for the United Kingdom, it's going to be in October. So
Yeah.
I believe that's the date for it.
And then there's a whole fiasco with our brothers to the north, Canada. The network is only going to be available through a communications system called Rogers, which I've read some things online about them, and they're kind of like the Comcast Time Warner of Canada. And if any of you people know Comcast Time Warner, they're the worst. They're some of the worst companies in the United States. They're terrible people. I hope Comcast and Time Warner get chokeslammed by Kane and burn in hell. There you go.
Yeah. You know what Chris was telling me about Canada, that Kevin Steen might help out Canada.
Yeah, and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's Canadian too.
Yeah, Sami Zayn. Ole.
I think regardless of what they do with international stars like Kenta and Devitt, and even Steen and Sami Zayn, and even Adrian Neville, I think this is numbers gonna go up because it's going to be available in 120 countries, starting in whatever date in August. I'm sure if you visit WWE.com, it has all the information on that. I'm not sure how many international listeners we have, but for anyone here in the States who's interested, WWE.com or any wrestling news website should have it available. I'm happy for them. There's been a lot of people, complaining that they don't have the network yet. So all these people getting the network, have fun with it. Have fun with it, and hopefully the WWE can stop, doing some budget cuts because, not only did they cut talent like, Drew McIntyre and, Jinder Mahal and Kurt Hawkins and Matt Sydal, Evan Bourne, but they also cut people in their, Stanford offices and, marketing positions. I think they cut like 60 or 70 jobs most recently. And, you don't want to see anybody losing their jobs. So hopefully WWE shows with the budget cuts and shows with cutting people's jobs.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you mentioned about Drew McIntyre. Just let our listeners know, if you're going to be in the LA area during SummerSlam weekend, well, no access, well, that's fine. You can head down to the Wrestling Guy store in Huntington Park, California. He's going to have signings of Drew McIntyre and Lita in the store. I will go check out, I think it's the WrestlingGuyStore.net for information on that, or hit him up at Twitter with @WrestlingGuyStoreHP. I was going to say, check that out, and if you want to meet Lita or Drew McIntyre, check him out. I know Drew is going to be there from 1 to 3, and I think Lita's going to be from 3 to 5. That's her signing, and I think she's doing something special between 5 and 7. They're like some kind of Q&A thing in the store, so check it out. So if you're in the LA area around SummerSlam weekend, I will keep an eye on those signings you can say, because we're not gonna have no access. Might as well go to those signings. Anywho, while we're talking about NXT and WWE in the way still, there's been these teases, you can say, from one Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks, teasing, possibly they're going to the WWE. They're carrying their Coke bottles with their names on there and with the WWE Tag Team title. They posted that picture on Twitter. You also got the picture with them and Booker T with the handshake. You all know the story about the Young Bucks and Booker T. So they post a picture with Booker T and handshake, and them shaking their hands.
Yeah, that actually happened at a wrestling show not too far from me.
Yeah, Northeast
and
Wrestling.
At that show was also Kevin Steen versus Jerry Lawler in a pile driver match, and Kevin Steen got pile drivered by Jerry Lawler.
Yep. And also the Bucks did lose to the Hardy Boys. But back to Young Bucks teasing. They also mentioned about how they lost the PWG, ROH, and IWGP Junior Tag Team titles in a matter of a month. And I think it was Nick that tweeted, so where do our career take place next? Which instead of spelling it N-E-X-T, he spelled it N-X-T. So, Tom, I want to hear this from you. What do you think? Do you think they could be talking to WWE right now?
The Young Bucks messing with those fans, because they know how often we're on Twitter. They know how often we spread rumors on little things. I think they're just working us over.
Well, would you like to see him in the WWE if it's hopefully they're talking to him?
I mean, from a fantasy booking standpoint, WWE needs a big revitalization in their tag team division. And having the Young Bucks as a center point, whether they want to go in there as heels or faces, whatever, they would fit in perfectly in there. Now, granted, they're not going to be doing the same moves. We're not going to be seeing the spike pile driver that they do, the double team spike pile driver. Probably not going to be seeing a couple other things. But the Young Bucks are experienced enough to change whatever they need to be done. And, they can work a mic like nobody else and get heat like nobody else. So I think they would be able to get heat if they needed to, but I just don't think they're going.
It was funny. I think it was Chris. I think he mentioned on the show that earlier in the year he said that they could be going to TNA by the summertime. Well, we're in summertime, and we're hearing all these WWE talks. Maybe it's because instead of going to TNA, because, why would the Bucks go back to TNA with the situation they're in right now? Maybe
going back to TNA. Going back to TNA would be a big step down.
Because it would be a big step down.
Young Bucks, they're working New Japan, they're working Ring of Honor, they're doing PWG, they're doing, indie dates all across the United States and Canada, wherever, and they're making good money.
Yeah, and like I said, Chris did mention that they're probably going to TNA, but then maybe this whole TNA thing is, maybe they changed their mind, they might want to go to WWE instead, because why would they go to TNA with the situation there is right now? And, they pretty much accomplished a lot of things already. Why not, show their talents in the big stage, Maybe they want to perform at a WrestleMania for once in their careers, So, why not? Why not? They did a lot of things already. Like, what is next for the Young Bucks to do?
Yeah.
What is, that's a question I should ask you. Yeah,
the Young Bucks have gone on record to say that they don't know if they could do WWE schedule. They say they have so much respect for the guys that do it. They said, they couldn't be that far away from their families for that long. Because even with all the dates that they're doing, they're still with their families most days of the week. So they said they wouldn't be able to do it. Maybe they would change their minds and say, maybe we'll do WWE for a little bit, make some money.
Yeah, that could be possible. Who knows?
But to be honest, kind of going off topic but staying on, tag teams, I would rather see the Briscoe brothers in the WWE than the Young Bucks, because I feel like the Briscoe brothers have a style that can fit the WWE, even though, you know, Jay Briscoe is a bit of a loudmouth, just a little bit, and he curses like a sailor. But I feel like, you know, if they, you know, put their mind to it and they were offered a good contract, you know, they would say, okay, you know, no more cursing, you know, we're still going to be angry, but we're going to be, you know, family friendly or whatever. But I would love to see them in the WWE because, you know, they're one of the hardest working tag teams the past decade.
Yeah, about a year ago when those rumors about them going to WWE, I actually was hoping they go for, you know, sake of the fucking tag team division. But, you know, unfortunately it didn't work out. And they ended up re-signing Ring of Honor. But, yeah, I would not mind seeing him in WWE. It's just that Jay got to tone his tone a bit. They have to be a little they have to adapt their mic skills, I believe, that, and that's it. They don't have to change who they are. You know, Marcus, you know, while he's injured, he could still hop around or whatever. Jay could walk around like a badass. They can still do that in WWE, just that their mic skills have to adapt it to a different level. Like, okay, this is a PG product. You got to work on what they have to say in a PG product show, you know, so they have to work on that. That's what the performance center is for.
They could basically cut their same promos, you know, just without the cursing. You know, they could say that they've worked all these years to get into the WWE and, you know, that they're, you know, hard-working guys, you know, that they used to, you know, besides wrestling, you know, they worked on their farm and all that. And either if they're heels or faces, I think they could get over with a young crowd. They could say, you know, we worked hard, and if you work hard, you know, you could be a wrestler. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think they deserve it. But I think this whole Young Buck situation is just, it's them messing with us, you know.
Yeah, and it's getting us talking about it. And I wish Skip was on. He would probably be all over it right now because he loves the Bucks. Y'all love the Bucks. But the Bucks, to me, if they want to go to WWE, I'm up for it. I would love to see him go against guys like the Usos. Bucket, I would like to see a program with them and Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I would not mind seeing a program with them. I know it's not going to be it could be you know what? It might be a great match. You see how Luke Harper flying around like a maniac and shit, you know, flying around a fucking naked match outside the fucking.
Even a team like the Ascension, because, you know, most likely the Ascension are going to be on the main roster soon enough. And I feel like they could work good together, you know, the Ascension being the powerhouses, the Young Bucks being the high flyers or whatever.
Yeah. And, you know what, about that picture about Booker T, I'm going to ask you something about that. Okay, you think there's something happened that backstage at that show? I mean, do you think they might have talked about it? Like, was that whole thing mentioned about when they not shaking hands to them? You think all that been mentioned backstage and a photo, all three of them together? I mean, you know what I'm talking.
Maybe, I don't know. You know, that whole thing, I think, you know, got blown out of proportion. And maybe, I don't know if the WWE would dictate, you know, guys being hired just off of one guy. You know, I don't know if WWE would say, you know, well, we're not going to hire them just because Booker T doesn't like them.
Yeah, you know what? If they do end up in the WWE and they have a DVD coming out, it would be so nice if Nick and Matt did mention about the whole Booker T situation while the tryout happened, and that'd be a good story in the DVD to mention about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, about the show we're talking about, they had with Kevin Steen versus Jerry Lawler, the Power Driver match, and the Hardy Boys and Young Bucks. It was from Northeast Wrestling, and the Hardys did beat the Young Bucks. I don't know if you could say you're disappointed in that, but yep, the Hardys did beat them. I saw little clips on like on Instagram and stuff, like someone taking them video shots. It was actually, it looked like it was a pretty good match. I didn't see the full match, but it seems like that what happened. That's what happened. And also you can. Well, Chris also mentioned that whole story they mentioned about the whole Booker T thing. You can check on the Kevin Steen show with the Bucks, so you can check that out there too. And I don't know, but I'm not really too familiar with Northeast wrestling. You probably familiar to more. Like, do they give out DVDs, and if they do, like, when do you expect the Bucks and Hardy Boys match to be out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how quick that promotion is with pulling out DVDs. I'm not sure even if they do DVDs.
Yeah.
Let me check it out. I'm not sure if they do wrestling.
All right. Well, hopefully there's some kind of video match. You can see the whole entire thing. So I'll be interested to watch it. I saw some tweets and it was a great match and blah blah blah. So I gotta check that out myself. Too bad not the coin to fly all the way up there and just to check that match between the Hardys and the Bucks. But yeah.
Yeah. So
I will.
It is going to be on DVD. It's $15. I'm not sure what the shipping is like. You know, companies are different. I wouldn't expect it to be too long, you know, but for people on the West Coast or even the Midwest, you know, a couple weeks, maybe. But if you're somewhere on the East Coast, possibly a week.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I note that how WWE signing and all that stuff, you know, it does take a while. Like, you see, it took Kevin Steen a while to get to WWE. I mean, I think he's still part of the thing right now, right? So he hasn't totally signed yet, but he's going to get signed. I don't think fucking Kevin Steen smokes pot or anything like that. But, you know, since when we heard all these rumors of Kevin Steen going to WWE, since I believe in the beginning of the year, right? Since January. So it took him this long to get at WWE. So imagine guys like Willie Mack or, you know, when he's going to get in there. So if the Bucks are going to get in, you know, it might take them a while. So
yeah,
it might
and
finish
they're
the WrestleMania season.
You know,
I
believe Nick Jackson just turned 25 or so, and I think Matt Jackson's like 27, 28. They're still really young. You know, even though they've been wrestling for over a decade, you know, they both started really young.
Yeah, definitely. They are still really young, and yeah, they're still in there. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but hold on. Let me see something real fast. Supposedly, and I don't see in the flip. Let me see if whether I call Bruce if this works. Ladies and gentlemen, just give us a sec. Let me call Bruce. Just give me a sec, Tom.
All right.
Yeah. I think this thing is tripping today. Let me see. I call Bruce. Bruce, if you're listening, you better answer your phone. Here we go.
But anyway, I feel like we should move on. We've been talking about WWE quite a bit tonight, and usually we save this for Shoot the Shit Wednesdays, but tomorrow we're going to be talking some Evolve, Ring of Honor, also going to be talking some other independent wrestling, but I want to get started, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. The G1 Climax is continuing. I believe Day 9 finished up, got some more days coming up, but we haven't been talking too much about it because we've been trying to catch up on this incredible tournament that's been going on. Dave Meltzer has gone on to say that this is probably the best wrestling tournament he's ever seen, and he's been a wrestling journalist for over 20 years, and he's seen the best of them. You know, he's seen all Japan tournaments. He's seen all the G1 climaxes, you know, best of the Super Juniors, you know, back in 1994, which is considered one of the best tournaments. So when you hear Dave Meltzer say stuff like this, you know that this is a great tournament.
Yeah, I've been
and
watching
there's been, you know, it'll take too long to go over the matches, but I believe there's close to 10 matches so far, probably more, that have been 4-star ratings or above. That's incredible. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I've been watching them. So far, I'm in day 8 right now. Freaking Daily Motion just barely posted up, so I'm like, fucking assholes. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to catch up as much as I can, and
I'm probably gonna even order some of these back on Ustream just so I can watch them again, because these shows have been just amazing.
Yeah, definitely. See what happens, man. I mean, G1's doing pretty good. Let me ask you a question. Who's been impressing you in this whole tournament?
Quite a few people. First, I'm going to say AJ Styles. He, you know, of course, even when he was in TNA, he was considered one of the best wrestlers in the world, even considering, you know, he was a light heavyweight, you know, pretty high-flying guy. But he has just stepped up his game, you know, 10 times ever since leaving TNA. And this G1 tournament is showing what he can do with full potential. And it's incredible to see what he's doing. You know, even, you know, being matched up in there with people that, you know, we never thought we'd see him with. It's just great to see how much he stepped up. Besides that, I would probably say Hiroki Goto. Hiroki Goto's had some great matches in this tournament. Stiff, hard-hitting matches. That's what, you know, Goto's known for. But he's been putting on some excellent matches. Same thing for Minoru Suzuki. You know, Suzuki is a veteran, and he's put on great matches in the past. And once again, you know, in this tournament, he's putting on some more. But besides that, maybe Tomohiro Ishii and Katsuyori Shibata, those two have probably impressed me maybe the most. It's tough to tell because each guy is just like doing different things, and there's so many guys putting on, you know, great to phenomenal matches. So it's tough to even just pick one guy, which is why I'm listing like 5 or 6 guys, and that's not even just everybody.
Yeah, definitely. To me, a guy who's kind of impressing me from the beginning, but now he's been like going down the way. But like the first 4 shows, Shelton X Benjamin, I'm like, what the fuck? He's been doing pretty impressive to me. I was like, wow, Shelton X Benjamin. But now he's like going down the hill going down the hill. I don't know. I don't have any predictions going to win this tournament. Like, I can say, but I know there's many more days left. But it's hard for me to say who's going to win the whole thing. You know?
Yeah. So going over, I know we haven't seen day 8 yet. we could probably discuss some of that tomorrow, maybe some day 9 if we can get there. But just going over some day 6 and 7 matches, because those have been some of the recent ones. We've gone over day 1, 2, and 3, I believe, in past Wrestling Heads episodes. And day 5 wasn't really anything special. But going on day 6, in the first half, you didn't really have much anything. You had Bullet Club members, Bad Luck Fale, Doc Gallows going against each other. But the first excellent match came when it was Satoshi Kojima taking on Katsuyori Shibata. And this was a great match. Hard-hitting. These guys beat the shit out of each other, much like so many guys do in this tournament because of that strong style that they have over there in Japan. But this was an excellent match. If you guys are looking to possibly skip over day 6, go back, check out this match. It's going to impress you. Both these guys, seasoned veterans over there in Japan, but they can still kick the shit out of each other. Also on the show, we had another great match between Carl Anderson and Hiroki Goto. Once again, hard-hitting, even though Carl Anderson, doesn't do strong style as much as a lot of the Japanese wrestlers, he can still go in there with the best of them and put on some great matches. Go back, check this match out. Check out Carl Anderson, because Carl Anderson is extremely underrated. He can go in there, he can elbow the shit out of guys with the best of them, but he can also wrestle purely with some of the best of them. I think it's highly underrated.
Yeah, definitely. And hold on, before I continue on talking about New Japan, I just want to let our listeners know, if you were trying to call earlier today, we got some technical difficulties in the switchboard. That's why I couldn't play commercials for some reason, and now I can't get Bruce on. I apologize, Bruce, but as of right now, I guess for tonight only, you can not call in. But if you guys have any comments, you can always tweet us at WrestlingHeads. But once again, I apologize whoever's trying to call in this whole show. Yeah, there's some technical difficulties on this switchboard. But anyways, back to G1. Look, to me, it's kind of hard. Like, who wrestled who, what days. I can remember.
It's hard to kind of keep up and remember each of the matches. If anybody wants to look up on the standings, just go on Wikipedia. But if you want a recap of what happened, I always check out voicesofwrestling.com. They've been giving some great reviews on the show, on the whole G1 Climax tournament. They give you a rundown of pretty much what happened during the match. They give you a star rating, and they've been doing every day of the tournament. So check out voicesofwrestling.com. Highly recommend that. And before I want to get to this show, which was day 7. Finishing off day 6 was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tomohiro Ishii. Another great match. These guys were, not only beating each other up, but doing some pure technical wrestling. And, you had suplexes going on. You had, of course, Tanahashi flying. And you had Ishii doing some enziguris. And, of course, putting on the submission holds. Another great match you should check out. So from day 6, check out those 3 matches. there's some other okay stuff on there, but for the most part, those 3 matches were at the top of the show, and I highly recommend checking out those matches if you're not going to check out the entire day 6.
Yeah, and Tom, you also forgot to mention that Chris actually posts our international stuff on our website.
Yeah.
He probably posted the latest show on our website already, so you gotta
always check out Chris's stuff on WrestlingHeads.com. He's keeping up. Check out. I think you can check him out anywhere, but Chris is the Japanese wizard. He knows his New Japan, his Dragon Gate. And you can follow him at ROH. You can follow him at ROH Code. He's been absent from Wrestling Heads Radio for a little bit, but hopefully we'll have him back on soon.
You sound like you missed him. He's
all
happy.
I miss our heated argument.
Yeah, but he can't call in because something's wrong with his stupid thing, so he can't unfortunately call back in. So I mean, nobody can call in. It's just me and you here. Something's wrong with this damn thing. So I will address this, and we'll probably address this to Blog Talk. So see what happens. But anywho, just go to WrestlingHeads.com and just check out our international section. And Chris always posts our stuff. He actually wakes up early in the morning to watch it live. He actually does it. So I wish I could do that.
He knows his Japanese wrestling, so won't get any BS from him. He'll tell it like it is.
Yeah, definitely. So so check that shit out. The G1 Climax is it's getting interesting now. It's getting to the point where it's getting interesting. While the tournament's winding down. Hold on, I think you might have said it earlier, but you have a favorite right now that's going to win the whole thing?
It's hard to say. It's this one. I think is the closest one that I can maybe think of. I haven't been following New Japan for many years. I just actually started following it, I believe, last year. And, if I have some spare time, I go back and watch some classic G1 climaxes. But this year, to say, I'm thinking maybe Tomohiro Ishii can maybe get it. He's low down there in points. In Block A, he only has 8 points. Right now, the leaders for Block A is Tanahashi and Nakamura with 12 points each. And in Block B, you have Okada and AJ Styles with 12 points each. And then there's a bunch of guys with 8 points. And then in Block A, Bad Luck Fale and Shibata have 10 points. And then in Block B, Minoru Suzuki has 10 points. So I was thinking maybe Tomohiro Ishii could do it. I'm not so sure anymore. Maybe Nakamura can do it. Maybe Okada. Who do you think could possibly win it?
I don't know. It's like very difficult to say. At first, I thought it would be crazy, but at first, it seems like the guys were winning consistently was going to win it all. Like example, Shelton Benjamin. Not only he's putting matches, but he's actually winning some great matches. And I'm thinking Benjamin, but I didn't want to say it would be him automatically, but then he hasn't been doing that lately in the tournament. So I don't know. And coming into the tournament, to me, he sounded like Ishii could have been a favorite there, but I don't know. He's pretty much low in points right now, so I don't know. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah. but it's like I said, it's just been a great tournament. You know, if this was anything else, it would be hard to watch, but I've been having a good time watching these shows. A lot of the matches have kept me interested. You know, not even just the technical matches, you know, the submission style matches, you know, that Minoru Suzuki puts on, or, you know, of course, Tanahashi, Okada, and Nakamura always put on good matches, and of course AJ Styles, like I said earlier. But even something like Toru Yano, you know, he does his comedy stuff. That keeps me interested. It's something to kind of relieve all that hard hitting style stuff. So to see some comedy in there, it's pretty good to see that. And then even when you have stuff like Bad Luck Fale or like Lance Archer go in there, and you know they're these you know big guys, and they're going against you know some smaller guys. That's fun to see. It's just been, like I said, I haven't been more interested in New Japan than I am, you know, probably right now. And like I said, I haven't been even that involved with keeping up with it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think Skit's going to be all happy because the Dodgers, I'm hearing about something about the Dodgers right now. They're having like a little rivalry game going on with the Angels. But anyways, I want to step away and talk about the G1 climax because I need to watch everything of the whole G1 thing about New Japan and all that stuff. So
said you are on day 8 right now, correct?
Day 8, yeah. I just saw the 4th match from there, so before we went on air. But I would like to watch. You
did see day 7.
Yes, I did.
Now, for those of you that don't know, day 7 has been highly touted as a great, phenomenal, excellent wrestling show. I'm talking about one of the best wrestling shows of the year, one of the best wrestling shows of the past 5 years. People are talking about, I can't even describe what people have been talking about. So did you see that AJ Styles Minoru Suzuki match?
Oh yeah, I saw that match. That was freaking awesome.
that was a great match. And it was only, you know, it was 20 minutes long, but it felt like it like flew by. And, you know, there was some cool stuff in there, like the interference from the Bullet Club. But then you had Taka Michinoku and Suzuki Gun come out and get those guys out of there. Now, did you think that this was a 5-star match? Because, you know, 5-star matches are very hard to come by. Do you think this was a 5-star classic match? Like, when you talk about classic matches.
You just say classic match because this could be a match I can remember for years. Yeah, I mean, it could. I'll say the classic match. I'm not going to forget this match anytime soon.
It's definitely a match of the year candidate. Right now, it is the match of the year, in my opinion. Maybe some people have some different opinions, but right now, for me, it's the match of the year for me. But this wasn't even the only great match. You know, this was the best match of the night. But also, for those of you that have not check out this whole Day 7. From top to bottom, it was a great show. But besides the AJ Styles Minoru Suzuki match, check out Yuji Nagata versus Katsuyori Shibata. Check out Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tomohiro Ishii. Both of those matches, excellent matches. Togi Makabe versus Tatsuya Naito, another great match. You know, there was, I believe, 4 matches in a row that were great to excellent matches. Of course, one of those in there being, you know, a 5-star match of the year. it was just this show just kept me interested. And, I haven't been this interested in New Japan ever, and I can see why people are so into this more than the WWE, because I can't remember the last time I saw a show like that from the WWE.
Yeah, you know what? I got this from Chris right now. Too bad he can't call in because something on the stupid switchboard, but he said that it's a legit match of the year, and I mean all of wrestling in 2014.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
See, and like I said, what also makes a match of the year is when you're just watching it and you're so invested in it and time just flies by. Like I said, I remember watching the beginning of that matchup, and then all of a sudden it was the end of the match, and I was like, wait, where the hell did that whole thing go? It was, like I said, it was just an excellent match, and we haven't seen, I believe, a 5-star match in wrestling since CM Punk versus John Cena from Money in the Bank 2011. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. But
yeah.
Just like, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Phase 7 of the G1 Climax. You will not regret it. It is worth every penny that you have if you pay for it. If you go on Daily Motion, that's fine. Still check it out. Give New Japan your time and your investment, because they are doing great things with this tournament, and I'm going to keep praising them. Right now I'm on the New Japan bandwagon, and I'm loving it. It's a great alternative to watching WWE, and right now they have my interest more than the WWE, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. People just check out New Japan, and hopefully I can watch the rest of Day 8 so I can explain more what's going on. And also, don't forget, go to WrestlingHeads.com, check our international stuff, and go check out Chris's stuff from the internationals. I mean, he puts results from anything from internationally, so check that out.
New Japan, Dragon Gate.
Yeah, and Dragon Gate Japan. Let's take one more commercial break, and this time I'll do the commercial, and we'll be right back. All right, people, this is what you got to do. Go to the www.com and subscribe to the WWE Network for $9.99 a month. You'll get not only just shows like The Legends House, which is basically a reality show, WrestleMania Rewind, WWE Countdown, NXT, Main Event, Superstars. Not only you get that, but you can get live pay-per-view shows like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, even freaking WrestleMania for $9.99 a month. That's all you.
Only $9.99 a month? That's nothing.
Yes, that's nothing. Just $9.99 a month. You get WrestleMania, SummerSlam live. Not only that, you can also watch classic stuff from WCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, ECW, old WWE stuff like Saturday Night Main Event from the 80s. They will put the 90s pretty soon, don't worry. Nitro will be coming up as well. But you can also watch past Royal Rumbles, past WrestleManias, past SummerSlams. And SummerSlams I've been on, like 2009 SummerSlam when CM Punk beat Jeff Hardy at the TLC match. You can watch WrestleMania 21 where I get to witness John Cena winning his first WWE title reign just for $9.99 a month. That's it. $9.99 a month. That's all you got to do. So subscribe to WWE Network and listen to Wrestling Heads Radio. Now, we're back on Wrestling Heads Radio. What you think of my commercial there?
We're turning into Triple H or Michael Cole. We're turning into both of them.
Yeah. But in WrestlingHeads, you don't have to pay $9.99 to listen to us. You can just listen to us for free now. I don't think we'll ever do that. Have to pay to listen to us.
We will never charge $9.99 a month.
We're not the poor man. I don't know if Howard Stern charges, but yeah. I don't bust a load in 1 minute like Howard Stern does. But anyways, we just finished talking about New Japan. I remember about a week or two ago you mentioned that you're planning to go to that one Ring of Honor show in that baseball field, right? In New York?
Possibly. Possibly, always work interferes with any wrestling show that I try to go to. And anytime I try to ask for time off, they say no. So hopefully I get to go. If not, I'm sure there's going to be more wrestling events for Ring of Honor coming to New York City, like Final Battle. I don't care. I'm probably going to be going to Final Battle.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Are you sure they're going to have Final Battle in New York, especially with all the, the Manhattan Center fucking raising up the price?
Yeah.
So
Final Battle is always Ring of Honor's biggest show, and I think they're still going to be in New York City, so.
All right. I'm just saying because the Hammerstein Ballroom, I don't know if they could do I don't know any wrestling show could do a show now with them raising the prices.
I think they also have a kind of a special thing with Ring of Honor,
All right. Well, like I say,
they probably, they know that Ring of Honor always sells out when they go there. I mean, look what happened the last time they were there for the New Japan shows. They sold out that night at the Hammerstein.
Yeah, she was crazy. But, but hopefully, you would hope that they still have it in New York, because you never know. They could move it to Philly or anything. So, you got to, who knows what's going to happen in New York, Final Battle, because, it's got to be bullshit them raising up those prices, For what?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully soon enough. I know WWE is coming back to New York City, to Brooklyn in, I believe, September or October, somewhere around there. So hopefully I'll be able to get down to Brooklyn. Always a hot crowd there.
Hey, I'm going to Summerslam, so it's all good for me. But anyways, I'll go back to Ring of Honor about that show. The poster even came out, but you know what's tripping about that poster? And Chris pointed out here, Michael Elgin is not in the poster, and he's the fucking champion. But they show AJ Styles with the IWGP Championship belt. I don't know if you saw that poster.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, you noticed the Michael Elgin's on there? It's
kind of I don't know if they're going to do anything with the IWGP title. I probably doubt it. I think it's kind of just to pump up AJ Styles as a legit threat to that Ring of Honor World title. That's just my opinion, Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
But of course, that night, it's going to be a fatal four-way match for the Ring of Honor World title with Michael Elgin, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Bebe, and who else is in there? I completely forget. I always blank out.
Was it Tommaso Ciampa?
No. Tommaso Ciampa is facing Michael Elgin at Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, I know, Death Before Dishonor, yeah. I thought it was Ciampa, no? Bennett, no?
I believe it's a former world champion.
Roderick Strong?
No, he already faced Roderick Strong. Oh, who the heck is it?
We know it ain't Kevin Steen.
I don't know. Maybe it is Kevin Steen.
Oh, yeah, right. Fuck it, Kevin Steen. All right, we're almost at the end of the show.
We'll talk Ring of Honor more tomorrow night. We'll talk Death Before Dishonor 12, which is happening August 22nd in Milwaukee and Saturday, August 23rd in Chicago.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about Evolve, their shows, this weekend shows for Evolve, the return of Matt Sydal, and Drew Galloway. He's making his debut there. Drew Galloway, a.k.a. Drew McIntyre. But anyways, we're going to end the show. Before we end the show, I just want to say shout out to Skid, Chris, Bruce, all the writers from WrestlingHeads.com. Follow us at WrestlingHeads, people. You can follow us on Instagram as well. Check out our own pictures there. Check out my picture with the Big Boss Man, all 6 years old. Subscribe us on YouTube. Yeah, we've been getting some subscribers as of late the last few days, but we'll thank you for that. So subscribe to us at YouTube at www.youtube.com/WrestlingHeads. You can check past episodes we had, like with Hudson Envy, Candice LeRae, Peter Avalon, P.P. Ray. Just check all that out. Matt Saban, Brian Kendrick. Listen to us on iTunes. Subscribe on iTunes. And, I think we should give our plugs before we go off the air. You can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. And check us out at WrestlingHeads.com. I didn't post a Classic Match of the Week on Saturday on WrestlingHeads.com, but I hope I'll get back into it this Saturday. I was, dehydrated last week. So Tom, you want to give out your plug?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter @2tweetme. That's it. Follow me on there. I'll follow you back. Talk some wrestling. And I'll give you a retweet. And I just remembered who is the fourth competitor in that Field of Honor match, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But it is Mr. Jay Briscoe. So it is going to be Michael Elgin taking on Adam Cole, AJ Styles, and Jay Briscoe.
Fuck Jay Briscoe. But anyways,
how did we forget Jay Briscoe?
Fuck Jay Briscoe. All right, but then so tomorrow we'll be back and we'll be shooting the shit. We'll be talking about some Evolve and stuff and any WWE breaking news related to SummerSlam. And so tomorrow we're out. Peace.